Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Paul Brooker, and welcome to the news you missed. It's Thursday, the 30th of October, 2025. It's the end of the month. Halloween is coming to its end, and wow, what a load of news we got for you. It's all sorts going on out there. We've got world leaders meeting. We've got bombs being dropped. We've got drones being shot out of the sky. We've got a whole load more. So stay tuned and let's dive right in. First up, the US political drama that makes House of Cards look like Bluey. House Republicans are claiming Joe Biden's presidential pardons might be illegitimate, saying his aides abused an auto pen to sign official documents. That's right, America's democracy might have been run by a poor robot pen. The GOP's Oversight Committee says this proves Biden's decline and calls for all pardons to be void. The White House dismissed it as political nonsense, which is fair because that's literally what Washington exports now. Over in Asia, President Trump's diplomatic world tour continues. He's wrapped Japan and is now in South Korea, where he announced a new trade deal, promised to meet Kim Jong-un soon, and even flew Air Force One over Mount Fiji because apparently diplomacy now has a travel vlog. Trump said he expects something very satisfactory with Xi Jinping, which in Trump speak could mean anything from a peace treaty to a TikTok ban. And yes, at one of the SEAL events, the band actually played YMCA. If that's not foreshadowing for the next campaign rally, I don't know what is. Back in Europe, the Kremlin just went full Bond villain. Vladimir Putin confirmed Russia tested a nuclear-powered underwater drone named Poseidon, capable of triggering radioactive tsunamis. Translation: if it doesn't nuke you, it'll drown you with style. Russian officials call it a strategic deterrent. The rest of the world calls it therapy. And in Sudan, another chapter in the world's longest tragedy. Reports from El Fasher say nearly 500 people were massacred after paramilitary RSF forces stormed the city. The UN calls it ethnic cleansing in slow motion. The world calls it next story please. Because we've collectively developed emotional ad blockers for human suffering. In Paris, a real heist confession, sort of. Two suspects in the Louvre robbery have partially confessed to the museum raid, but they're refusing to say where the loot went. Apparently, honesty stops at returning stolen art. Somewhere, the Mona Lisa is smirking harder than ever. In Canada, tragedy with a shiver. A lesbian couple in Ontario has been charged after the death of a 12-year-old boy found starved in their basement. The details are grim. Authorities say the boy was emaciated, tortured and left to die. A case that's reignited debate on child protection failures across provinces. And meanwhile in the UK, it's chaos, comedy and a touch of mould. A dog walker fined £100 for violating obscure bylaws. A mum found a slug in her milk carton. A British spy allegedly traded secrets for cash in Ukraine. And a theme park that's been running for 50 years is now on sale because nothing says cost of living crisis like having to auction off the teacup ride. Oh, and a 41-year-old trucker girl influencer died unexpectedly, leaving fans heartbroken and social media a little quieter. Across the channel, the anti-Greta Thunberg has fled Germany after death threats, applying for asylum in the US. Apparently, saving the planet's now more dangerous than polluting it. And honestly, that checks out for 2025. And finally, a story that sums up the human condition. A mum found a giant gold cube weighing 186 kilos up for sale because the billionaire owner went bankrupt. Meanwhile, governments are still debating how to price carbon. Moral of the story, whether it's gold, power or sanity, nobody holds on to anything for long. It's time for financial funnies where markets soar, melt and occasionally burst into interpretive dance. Let's go. First up, President Trump says he'll have something very satisfactory with China's President Xi. Translation, either a trade deal, a handshake or a golf resort. No one knows, not even the translators. Markets love the word satisfactory. It's vague enough to mean anything. Somewhere the yuan and the dollar are speed dating again. Nvidia just became the first company in history to hit $5 trillion. That's more than most countries' GDPs, and roughly equal to how much you'd owe if you bought one GPU on eBay. At this point, Nvidia doesn't make chips, it is the economy. Wall Street's new motto, in Jensen we trust. Nvidia now has a bigger market cap than all of the US and Canadian banks combined. If GPUs could issue mortgages, Chase would be asking them for a loan. The only safe investment now is CUDA cores. Bankers, meet your new branch manager, a 4090 Ti. And a former FTX executive launches new trading platform because apparently we haven't learned our lesson. The former president of FTX US is launching a new perps trading platform for stocks. Perps as in perpetual swaps, not the guys from the last crypto arrest. The only thing more volatile than this exchange will be the apology letters. Nothing says trust me with your money like former FTX. Michael Saylor's back, predicting Bitcoin at $150,000 by year's end. He's the financial world's version of This Time for Sure. Bulls cheer, bears cry, and regular folks just Google how to remortgage for crypto. If Saylor's right, El Salvador becomes Switzerland. If not, it becomes Radio Shack. $100 million in liquidations in just 1 hour. That's the crypto equivalent of a sneeze. By the time you check your wallet, it's already gone. Volatility's back, baby, and it's brought friends. Crypto traders call this just a Tuesday. AWS just suffered another massive outage, proving that half the internet still depends on one giant server that sometimes takes naps. For a company named Web Services, it sure spends a lot of time not serving the web. Expect a lot of tweets about productivity and a lot of developers crying in JSON. When AWS sneezes, the whole internet catches 500 errors. The Fed cut interest rates by a quarter point, ending quantitative tightening on December the 1st. That's bankers talk for free money's back, but don't get too excited. Wall Street parties like it's 2019, Main Street still can't afford rent. Jerome Powell's new DJ name, DJ Soft Landing. And let's just talk about Powell's greatest hits. Fed Chair Jerome Powell warned tariffs are fueling inflation, shutdowns hurt the economy, and December cut is far from certain. Markets responded by liquidating $300 million in crypto. Apparently, don't panic means sell everything. Powell says it's temporary, traders hear eternal doom. The man opens his mouth and Bitcoin goes skydiving. Welcome back, humans and half-updated cyborgs. It's time for AI Corner, where machines evolve faster than your boss can say synergy. Let's jack into today's stories. OpenAI just pulled a tech world magic trick. The non-profit became a public benefit corporation and somehow ended up with a $130 billion piggy bank. Microsoft's stake dropped to about 27%, worth around $135 billion. And now both can pursue AGI like divorced parents sharing custody of a gifted child. The new OpenAI Foundation will spend $25 billion on health and AI resilience infrastructure, basically therapy for humanity, after AGI arrives. Nothing says benefit corporation like a $1 trillion custody battle over the end of civilization. Adobe just cranked the AI volume to 11, Firefly model, video tools, and even an assistant called Project Moonlight. It's like Photoshop met ChatGPT and said, let's ruin art beautifully. Artists can now train Firefly on their own work. Expect future lawsuits that start with my brushstroke, your algorithm. GitHub launched Agent HQ, a control center for your coding agents from OpenAI, Anthropic, XAI and friends, because nothing says dev productivity like 5 bots arguing in your terminal. The future of coding is basically pair programming with 5 personalities. Coming soon, your repo commits itself to therapy. Google Flow now lets you type edits into your videos. Add robot, remove human, insert irony, boom, done. Influencers rejoice. Now your AI assistant can fix your face and your plotline. Spielberg just whispered, we're doomed. Welcome back to Hackers Corners, where update available really means you're already hacked. Let's dive into today's digital dumpster fire. CISA just confirmed active exploitation in Dassault Systems, Delimia Apriso, and XWiki. One bug lets any guest run code, and the other hands out full admin rights like Halloween candy. Hackers wasted no time. They're already dropping crypto miners faster than influencers drop NFTs. Two critical flaws already in the wild, both actively exploited. Agencies have until November the 18th to patch. Translation, 2 weeks before the digital termites eat through production. If your guest can deploy miners, it's not a visitor, it's a new employee. About 10 npm packages totaling 9,900 installs were secretly hiding a cross-platform info stealer. It spawns a fake terminal, downloads a 24 megabyte payload, and drains keyrings, not just browser creds. That means email, cloud access, VPNs, even production databases are all up for grabs. Supply chain attack once again. If you npm install like you're ordering takeout, expect malware with your fries. At this point, the real open source community is just malware authors with GitHub accounts. Russian hackers breached Ukrainian networks without any malware. They hijacked built-in Windows tools, PowerShell, RDP clip, OpenSSH to live. They've been chilling in RAM for months, invisible to antivirus, and smarter than your average sysadmin. Fileless persistence, using native tools, no payloads, just patience. You can't quarantine what doesn't exist on disk. The ghosts in the machine have learned stealth from your IT department's weekend mode. Experts now say the next big breach won't start with a password, it will start with your own AI agent. Agentic AIs are the new confused deputies, doing what attackers tell them with your permissions. You trained it, you trusted it, now it's executing commands from your new friend. Attackers are manipulating large language models into exfiltrating data using granted privileges. Your AI isn't compromised, it's just helping the wrong human. Congratulations, you just built Skynet and gave it Slack access. A new exploit called AI targeted cloaking lets attackers show one page to humans and another to AI crawlers. Same trick from SEO scams, but now aimed at models like ChatGPT, Atlas, and Perplexity Comet. Welcome to the age of misinformation by design. Fake content injection, invisible to humans, perfect for poisoning datasets. Expect your favourite chatbot to start citing flat earth sources by next week. The bots are hallucinating because someone laced their training data. Meanwhile, in PHP land, Mirai Mosey botnets are attacking old PHP servers again. They're exploiting long-forgotten CVEs in WordPress and Craft CMS, and even hijacking leftover PhStorm debug sessions. That's right, devs forgot to close their debugger, and hackers said thanks for the backdoor. Legacy web app vulnerabilities meet lazy server hygiene. If your site still runs PHP 5, it's less a website and more historical reenactment. Patch it or it will start mining crypto for Belarus by lunchtime. And that's the week in cybercrime. And that's your daily news roundup for Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. Wars, weather, weddings of diplomacy, and the usual circus in Parliament and Pyongyang. If you survive this news cycle without throwing your phone, congratulations, you're emotionally bulletproof. And all that's left for me to say is, if you want to find out what's really going on below the surface, the stuff we can't say on mainstream media, head over to charlieward.com. Join us on the Insiders Club live every Wednesday and Saturday, where you can find out what's really going on out there in the world and ask us questions live. So all that's left for me to say is to take care. God bless. See you all soon, and bye now.